Landmark WTO plain packaging verdict rules with Australia over big tobacco companies, despite no evidence that it has reduced sales of cigarettes. A complaint over Australia's plain packaging cigarettes brought forward by Cuba, Indonesia, Honduras and the Dominican Republic has been rejected by the World Trade Organization on Thursday. The WTO panel rejected the argument that Australia had infringed on tobacco companies' trademarks and intellectual property rights. The panel concluded Australia's law improved public health by reducing the use of tobacco products despite studies indicating otherwise. The contentious law has drawn mixed results, with many studies showing that the ban on packaging has actually stalled a decline in smoking rates and created a booming black market. For the first time in more than 2 decades, the daily smoking rate did not significantly decline over the most recent 3-year period, the National Drug Strategy Household Survey reported in 2016. In actual fact, there are more people smoking in Australia today than 5 years ago when the policy was introduced, the report said. Professor Sinclair Davidson of Remedy University backed this claim in a 2017 video on the subject. In actual fact, there are more people smoking in Australia today than 5 years ago when the policy was introduced, he said. As far as the sale of illegal tobacco, many reports show it has skyrocketed, with a 14% increase since the plain packaging was rolled out. Border Force reported an increase of illicit cigarettes seized while coming into the country, from 182 tons in 2014 to 381 tons in 2017. Australia's plain packaging laws are seen as a test case for public health legislation globally, and could lead to tighter marketing rules for unhealthy foods and alcohol as well as tobacco. Honduras indicated that it was likely to appeal the WTO decision, saying in a statement that the ruling contained legal and factual errors and appeared not to be even-handed, objective or respectful of the complainant's rights. It appears that this dispute will require the review of the panel's findings by the WTO appellate body before any final conclusions can be drawn, it said. An Indonesian trade official said Indonesia would examine its options. Cuban and Dominican trade officials were not immediately available for comment. Australia said it was ready to defend against an appeal. "We will not shy away from fighting for the right to protect the health of Australians," Trade Minister Stephen Shiabo and Rural Health Minister Bridget McKenzie said in a statement. Australia has achieved a resounding victory. The World Health Organization welcomed the WTO ruling, saying it cleared another legal hurdle thrown up in the tobacco industry's efforts to block tobacco control and is likely to accelerate implementation of plain packaging around the globe. It said 6 other countries had brought in plain packaging laws: Hungary, Ireland, France, New Zealand, Norway and Britain, while another 6 had passed laws yet to be implemented: Burkina Faso, Canada, Georgia, Romania, Slovenia and Thailand. A number of other countries are examining the policy, the WHO added. Vera Luisa da Costa e Silva, head of the Secretariat of the WHO's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, said there was already a domino effect, with countries moving towards Australian-style rules and seeing them as a way towards the endgame with less than 5% of the population smoking. Girol, International Trade Director at Japan Tobacco International, said the decision was a major step backwards for the protection of intellectual property rights internationally. It sets a dangerous precedent that could encourage governments to ban branding on other products without providing any reliable evidence of benefits to public health, UL said, adding that recent data showed plain packaging was not working. This ruling doesn't make the policy right or effective, nor does it make it worth copying. Australia's law, implemented in 2012, bans logos and distinctively colored cigarette packaging in favor of drab olive packets that look more like military or prison issue, with brand names printed in small standardized fonts.